Imagine a landlocked country in the heart of Europe, small in borders but vast in influence. Austria. A land of mountains, music, and empires. For centuries, Vienna wasn't just a capital, it was the center of Europe's heartbeat. But how did this small alpine land come to rule half the continent? What secret path carried Austria from obscurity to empire? Thousands of years ago, before palaces or armies, humans walked these lands. The Venus of Willendorf, carved around 28,000 BCE, is one of the earliest known symbols of human creativity. At just 11 centimeters, she embodies fertility, survival, and artistry, a quiet herald of civilization in the Alps. Celtic tribes arrived, establishing settlements and trade networks along rivers. Germanic tribes followed, shaping local societies. Then the Romans came, naming the region Noricum. Roads pierced mountains, forts perched on ridges, and Vienna began as Vindobona, a Roman military camp guarding the empire's northern frontier. Innsbruck, Salzburg, and Linz grew as trading hubs. Yet empires fall. Huns, Lombards, and Avars swept through, destroying and reshaping settlements. Austria became a crossroads of culture and war. Could this land survive the constant tide of invaders, or was it destined to be molded by outsiders? After Rome's fall, Germanic tribes settled in valleys. By the 9th century, Austria was part of the Carolingian Empire, Charlemagne's sprawling realm. Vienna gained importance as a center of governance and trade. In 996 CE, the name Ostarrîchi appeared in a document, the first reference to Austria. A small word, yet monumental in significance. The Babenberg dynasty, 976 to 1246, transformed Vienna into a hub of commerce, governance, and religion. Monasteries and churches rose, merchants thrived along the Danube. Austria's foundation as a cultural and political center was laid. Even amid prosperity, danger loomed. How could a modest duchy survive ambitious neighbors like Bohemia, Hungary, and Bavaria? 1278 was pivotal. Rudolf I of Habsburg defeated King Ottokar II of Bohemia at the Battle on the Marchfeld, seizing Austria. A duchy became the Habsburg crown jewel, a family that would dominate Europe for centuries. The Habsburgs expanded through marriage alliances, not just war. Maximilian I's marriage to Mary of Burgundy in 1477 brought the Low Countries under their influence. Austria's reach now extended beyond the Alps, yet power carried risk. Could a dynasty built on cunning survive Europe's storms? How could marriages wield more power than armies? Austria's location made it a front line against the Ottoman Empire. In 1529, the Turks laid siege to Vienna. Decades later, in 1683, a coalition led by King John III Sobieski of Poland broke the Ottoman lines with a dramatic cavalry charge. Austria survived, but scars remained. Vienna had become Europe's shield. Soldiers, generals, and citizens bore the empire's weight. Could Austria endure such constant pressure? While armies fought, Vienna flourished. The 18th century transformed it into a jewel of Baroque architecture. Palaces like Schönbrunn, Belvedere, and Karlskirche shimmered under golden light. Music became the empire's heartbeat. Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven, and Schubert filled concert halls with compositions that expressed triumph, sorrow, and passion. Vienna's streets buzzed with salons where philosophers, poets, and artists debated ideas. Cafes overflowed with thoughts as rich as the coffee they served. Yet beneath elegance, tension simmered. Peasant revolts, religious disputes, and nationalist whispers hinted at cracks in the empire. Could culture truly mask political fragility? Imagine walking these streets centuries ago, hearing Mozart's first notes. Subscribe us on History in Minutes and continue watching. Austria was brilliant intellectually. Wolfgang Lasius chronicled centuries of history. Franz Joseph Müller von Reichenstein discovered tellurium, mining science from the Alps. Gerard van Swieten, physician to Maria Theresa, reformed medicine and hospitals. Knowledge became Austria's hidden weapon, guiding rulers and inspiring citizens. But could intellect alone protect a multi-ethnic empire from internal pressures? By the 19th century, Austria was a patchwork. Germans, Hungarians, Czechs, Slovaks, Croats, Italians, and others. Voices rose, demanding recognition. The Habsburgs enacted the Austro-Hungarian Compromise of 1867, creating a dual monarchy. Two crowns governed dozens of nations. The balance held temporarily, but industrialization, urbanization, and rising nationalism pressed hard. But could this fragile compromise survive Europe's storms? Or was it a temporary pause before collapse? 1914. Sarajevo. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand ignited World War I. Austria-Hungary, fragile already, collapsed. Millions perished. Borders were redrawn. Emperor Charles I abdicated. Austria became a republic. A nation that once ruled vast lands faced modest borders and uncertain futures. Could Austria redefine itself without imperial grandeur? Could it survive a turbulent century? In 1938, Hitler annexed Austria. Anschluss. World War II left cities in ruins, families displaced, lives shattered. By 1955, Austria regained independence and declared permanent neutrality. Culture and science endured. Bruno Tuschek advanced particle physics. Berta Karlik pioneered physics for women. Austria had survived, transformed, and endured. Austria's story isn't only wars and politics, it's daily life, music, and culture. Vienna's cafes overflowed with conversations, debates, and creativity. Streets echoed with Mozart and Beethoven. Markets bustled with spices, textiles, and art. In the Alps, farmers tilled steep slopes, shepherds guided flocks, and towns maintained traditions spanning centuries. Austria's culture reflected survival, creativity, and elegance. Could this tapestry of life survive modernity without losing its soul? Austria was a hub of innovation. The Vienna Circle shaped logic and science. Medical pioneers reformed hospitals. Universities trained thinkers who left global marks. Innovation thrived amid war and change. But could a small nation maintain intellectual influence in a turbulent world? Modern Austria thrives culturally, politically, and economically. Vienna hosts international organizations. Opera houses echo timeless music. The Alps draw millions. Palaces, museums, and libraries preserve imperial legacies. Austria's story blends triumph, tragedy, creativity, and resilience. Can a nation with centuries of imperial history ever truly be ordinary? Or do Habsburg ghosts wander Vienna's streets, waiting to be discovered? Music is Austria's soul. The streets of Vienna once saw Mozart arguing with patrons, Beethoven composing in candlelight, and Schubert performing in small salons. Music told Austria's story better than any book: joy, sorrow, rebellion, love. Festivals still celebrate this legacy. Each note echoes a nation that survived invasions, political turmoil, and social upheaval. Could music be the glue that held Austria's diverse people together? From Hofburg Palace to St. Stephen's Cathedral, Austria's buildings tell history. Gothic spires, Baroque grandeur, and imperial palaces reflect power, faith, and artistry. Each stone whispers secrets of intrigue, alliances, and betrayal. Could architecture alone preserve centuries of human endeavor? Austria's contributions to science were extraordinary. Physics, chemistry, medicine, and astronomy flourished. Thinkers like Erwin Schrödinger and Lise Meitner pushed boundaries. Discoveries in alpine laboratories influenced the world. How could a small nation make such a lasting global impact? Today, Austrians balance tradition with progress. Farmers use modern technology alongside centuries-old techniques. Vienna is a global hub for diplomacy, culture, and innovation. Festivals, music, art, and science interweave into everyday life. Could a nation carry centuries of history while thriving in the modern world? The Alps shaped Austria physically and culturally. Mountains protected, challenged, and inspired. Alpine towns preserved traditions and forged resilience. Hiking paths, snow-covered peaks, and lush valleys became both battlegrounds and sanctuaries. Could geography alone shape the destiny of a nation? Austria is more than a country. It is a story. Ambition, survival, music, war, intellect, and resilience. Its mountains, rivers, and streets whisper secrets of empires lost and reborn. And the ultimate question remains: when a nation once ruled much of Europe, can it ever truly be ordinary? Or does its history eternally echo through the streets of Vienna, the peaks of the Alps, and the hearts of its people? Which emperor left the deepest mark on Austria's culture and architecture? In History in Minutes, we answer these questions about the fascinating history of every country in the world, one by one, in alphabetical order. Today we uncovered another country starting with A, and the adventure continues. Next up is Azerbaijan.